Hey, everybody. I just thought it might be useful to help you walk through that auto quote assignment. There's instructions in there, but sometimes they change the website, and sometimes things aren't where they used to be. So yeah, I just thought it'd be easier if I, in real time took a look at the auto quote assignment and helped you walk through that here. So you're going to download that, and here's what it's going to look like. Eventually, we'll get there, right? I guess it's my fault for relying on that. Okay, there it is. Auto quote assignment. First thing, don't give your social security number out. You would need to do that if you were trying to actually get a quote. But that's they'd be incorporating your credit score. I don't want you to do that. We're just generating a practice quote so we can look at the effect of what happens here when we make certain changes. So we don't need to, please don't give out your social security number. The other thing I would tell you is use a throwaway email, because they will contact you and try to sell you auto insurance because they think you're shopping. So those would be the two pieces of advice. Okay, first thing, I got to have quotes for two different vehicles. Okay, and it can be whatever you want, but my suggestion would be use the car that you're driving now, and then also use the car that you're thinking about replacing it with. And then that'll have some value. You can decide if, knowing how much difference in insurance costs it's going to be, that would be a useful thing to know. But that's up to you. You can choose whatever two vehicles you want. So we're going to go to progressive.com. We're going to go there. Okay. So we're going to use Progressive, not because I endorse their site, but because it's possible to get a quote without having to give any personal information at all, or at least made up stuff. So zip code. Okay, we've run into trouble on this before. Some states you can't get a quote for. So use an Indiana zip code. I know that works. I know 47396 works. That's Yorktown. That's where I live. So if you're having trouble with your zip code, I'd like you to use your zip code so you can get a realistic quote. But if it doesn't return a quote, then the problem is we got a zip code where they don't do business. And that's a problem. I had somebody online in a different state before who couldn't get past that step. Okay, we're not bundling anything. We're just looking at auto. So we're going to get to quote. Okay. Takes a second to go through. All right, they want to know about you. You go ahead and make up whatever information you want here. I wouldn't give real information if I were you. I'd make stuff up. Your date of birth is going to matter. Remember, age is a rating factor. So I would tell you use your own date of birth here. Let's see. Okay, and they want 4 digits on here. That's the problem. They do ask for your address. I'm going to make that up too. So my apologies to whoever lives at 123 Elm Street. They're probably going to get junk mail. Okay, so the first thing, we got to know about a vehicle. And okay, I'll go ahead and put in the vehicle that you currently drive. Or, you can do whatever vehicle you want. I don't really care. That's not important. But it's more useful if it's a car that you actually are driving. So for me, that's 2015 MKZ. I got 6 cylinders. You better believe it. Okay, so vehicle use. We talked about rating factors, right? And mine is a commute. For me, it's commute. For you, you can put whatever you want. Some of you, if you only have a car at school and you're not working, then pleasure or personal would be the appropriate one to do. Now, look, they actually will allow you to put the quote in there if you're doing Uber or Lyft. For me, I commute 5 days a week. I don't have very far to go. It's about 10 miles. Is it owned, leased, or are you just shopping? Well, I own this vehicle. How long have I had it? I've had it not quite 5 years. And yeah, I drive about 10,000 miles a year. I do have blind spot warning. So this is all new. I haven't seen before. Now, here it'll say add another vehicle. I know I said we wanted to compare 2 different vehicles. You don't do it here because here it'll price it as if you're trying to insure 2 vehicles at once. And that's not what I'm trying to get you to do. I'm trying to get you to look at one vehicle and then another vehicle separately. So we're not doing this here. go ahead and continue on this part. All right, a few more questions. Gender. All right. Marital status. That'll make a difference. If you're married, that will change the price. And we talked about that in the lecture. Graduate degree for education for me. Employment status, I work full-time. Employed, that's what I'm looking for. Occupation, okay, fine. I don't know if they have a list or not. But you can, look at that. Oh, processor, not professor. That's interesting. How often do you work from home? Well, actually, honestly, there are 2 days a week I work from home. Social security number, here, don't put this in. Yeah, if you wanted to actually buy, you would have to put that in, but we're not trying to do that. And then they have questions about your residence. So if you own or rent, put that in. And then they're going to ask here for your license status and how long you've been licensed. So for most of you, it's going to be 3 years or more. Check no, even if this is not the case, on your accidents, violence, and claims, because then they're going to ask for more information. The SR22, that's if you've had an alcohol-related offense. Don't worry about that right now. Just check no. Let's simplify on this one. And actually, I got to go back up. I said married. We got to change that. You got to be single no matter what. Because otherwise, if you say that you're married, then the next question is questions about your spouse. And that, again, we're just trying to keep it simple. So go single even if that's not true. I'd forgotten about that. Oh, it didn't like just typing in professor. So, okay, I'll use their list of what I am. Okay. You can add other drivers. I don't want to do that. We're just trying to keep this simple. Okay, do you have auto insurance today? So go ahead and say yes. Go ahead and say that you've been with your auto insurer for more than 5 years. Here's the current limits. Put in $25.50. Okay. And then you don't have any other insurance with Progressive. Say that you want to start this relatively soon. I guess I have to click a date. Let's try that again. All right, and then here's where they ask for the email address. How many residents live in the home? You're single, we're just putting one. We're making it simple because they want to know, well, are there other people who are going to be driving this car? So yeah, in reality, if you're getting a real quote, you got to accurately answer all that stuff. I'm just trying to keep it simple for the purposes of our assignment. Okay, so what about snapshot? Okay, no, that's not something that we want to do. That's something that allows them to monitor your driving habits. We're not going to mess with that. Oh, and what if we want to add other things? No, I just want auto. So it takes a while to get through this quote process. Okay. So 6-month package of $25.50. Down here is what we need to look at. So this information is not what you're talking about. Okay, ignore this number. All right, this doesn't have anything to do with anything. That's if you're going to pay monthly, and it's if you only have a limited amount of liability. Okay, so now we go back to the actual assignment. And what does it tell us to do? Okay, so let's go back to the actual assignment. We have the information we need, but it's going to ask for our for us to put in some information here. So, okay, we have all the, here's where we're going. For $25.50, 25 bodily injury liability. Hey, look, $25.50, 25. It's $123. And that's 6-month coverage. This is where you're going to be looking here. Oh, hey, look, what if we want to change that? Well, okay, what does it cost to increase limits from $25.50 to $250, $500? Okay, let's do that. So you can edit this here. $250, $500, right there, it already tells you $33 extra. So that's my point. You can get a massive amount. This is 10 times the coverage, and it only costs you $33 every 6 months. It's right there. So that's the answer that we're looking for that piece. So down here, what does it cost? So it's an extra $33. We wanted to know what 2550 uninsured looks like. Okay, let's go back. So we go ahead and we update, and now it'll put in that number down here. So yeah, there you see the extra $33. Hey, 2550 underinsured, it costs you $8. All right. So that's not a very expensive part of your policy. So when you're thinking, oh gosh, should I buy uninsured? Should I not buy uninsured? It's so cheap. I mean, this is 6 months. It costs you $8. I would up that if it were me. I would do the recommended there, but that's not part of the assignment. It doesn't say that you have to do that. So we have that. Now we have to look at collision and other than collision with $500 deductibles. Okay, let's take a look at that. So that's down here. We've got, here's our liability coverage up top. Our uninsured motorist coverage is here. And then medical payments, we don't have any coverage at all. And I don't have any questions on the assignment to deal with that. But here we want to do 500 collision and 500 comprehensive. Okay, go ahead and edit this. I just really like this tool and the way that they do it. You get a really good view of what this is going to look like. All right, I'm not sure why I'm not able to click on that and make that work right now. But it was working before. So anyway, I don't need to tie up your time with the video. This is where you get your information, and this is where you do it. That's probably good enough. You'll be able to navigate your way through the assignment. Any problems, let me know, and we'll go from there. So thanks a lot, and this is how you do the auto quote assignment. So again, yeah, let me know if you have any trouble, and we'll go from there. Thanks. I don't want to tie up your time with another 20 minutes of stuff on the video, even though there is some really interesting stuff that's on this website. We'll go from there. Thanks a lot.